Hello. This is it.
That's really good quality.
Thanks. It's the sunlight, I think.
Hi. How do we start?
We just start talking, and we just do our best to kind of ignore that and just pretend it's not really there.
I need to turn my chair then.
Yeah. I just want to be able to be seen. So, Emily, talk to me. And again, we can go deep and you can say shit. And if it just gets too deep, then I can still post it, but I can just post it unlisted so nobody sees it. And it's just you and me that see it. So I don't feel like you have to hold back. Lots of times I feel like I have to
filter.
Yes, or be like, don't say that person's name, or that's too real, or whatever, and then it just kills the quality of everything. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna grab my nasal spray real quick.
I won't stress about it. Bye.
Oh my god, it's outside. Say hi to Emily. Oh!
I'm Emily. This is my first podcast. So
I know.
hi.
So what's up?
Oh, I mean, it's what we've been talking about.
Well, hit me. What's updated?
Okay, here's a good question / prompt.
Okay.
How do you discern between, this is a two-parter, between your intuition and your fears, your anxiety, which I feel like we've maybe talked about before, but then also, separate / on top of that, what is right versus wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I'll give you context. Relationships are not my strong suit. We know this.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep it in here.
Okay. Sky is blue, grass is green, we breathe air.
God damn, okay, I get it. And my tendency, we've talked about too, is anxious and avoidant. I'm anxious in one moment, and then the next moment I'm like, oh my god, this isn't right, I need to get out of this. I want to run away, right?
Do you like being around people? Do you like when you, obviously everybody likes love.
Yeah.
But how do you feel when you're receiving it from somebody that isn't a family member or? Because I'm wondering where the switch flips for you.
Where the trigger is?
Yeah,
that's what my mom was asking me. And it's funny because it's hard for me to receive love, I think. And
in a certain way or just always? If I give you a gift, is that easier to take than me complimenting you or touching you? Or...
I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like that's a great question. I wonder if it's depends on the person maybe, or the setting. Because in this scenario, I'm talking about a romantic relationship, right, that I've been struggling with. And he's so freaking cute.
Yeah, you're a great background, Baba.
He's so cute.
Handsome boy.
Because they'll tell me they love me, right? And that feels like a lot for me sometimes.
How soon are they?
The thing is though, well, it is kind of soon. It is kind of soon, and I think that's part of it. But I've told them it back. I've said I love you back, and...
Do you be meaning what you be saying?
Here's the thing. Yes, I do. I think about it, and I'm no, I do. I love this person a lot, actually. but still, when they say I love you, I feel like pressure to say I love you back. But it's not because of them. They don't have that expectation when they say it. They're just genuinely just saying it. But I'll say it back, and it's almost because, like, I'm making myself say it back, but then I feel like I'm lying. I feel like I'm lying when I say it. But I think about it, I'm like, oh, like, I do love this person. Like, what? You know? So...
What feels wrong about it? I'm just saying. I'm not asking. I'm just...
Oh, like me, I'm asking myself. Like, I'm like,
yeah.
why? Yeah. And I talked to my mom, because actually I talked to my therapist first, and I told her how, like, the thought about dating a woman hasn't gone away. And, but the thing is last time I did this cycle, where I, like, ended it with them, because I was like, I want to date a woman. After we ended it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I've done this, I do this cycle, and I convince myself that I'm a lesbian, and it's like a way to run away. But then I get to this place where I'm like, no, I was right, and I'm convincing myself to stay, and I'm at the point where I don't even know what's true and what's lie anymore. So like, I like feel.
I'm closing this window because it's loud. Keep talking.
Like my intuition is kind of saying to let it go.
Let what go?
The relationship.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'll like kind of watch YouTube videos and educate myself on my fears and my attachment. And like this woman today, I watched this video and it was about relationship OCD. I don't know if you've like heard of that. I didn't even know, but I heard it today. And she was just kind of like describing typical fears and tendencies of people that are having like a trigger of like, and they have kind of a relationship OCD. And it was literally all of this exact same fucking thoughts that I've been having. And they've just been like obsessive.
Did she say why people have those feelings?
Yeah, it like goes back to childhood.
Interesting.
It's like it's just how you're predispositioned from childhood to like feel about relationships and handle relationships. And so I watched that video and it was like, oh my god, like maybe I don't need to leave day. Like maybe I can just chill out because I don't want to. I really don't want to. And she was saying that people that kind of have this relationship OCD are like, they freak out and they're like, I'm not in the right relationship. Like, this relationship isn't for me. This is the wrong thing. We're doing something wrong. And we talked about that last time. Like, having anxiety doesn't mean you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And so, after watching that video, I was like, okay. And another thing she said was, like, people that don't have ROCD, that are, like, questioning their relationship, don't feel obsessively like they need to figure it out right this moment.
Yeah.
And that is what I do, for sure. I'm like, let's get to the bottom of this right now. So...
What do you feel like the end goal is? Because it sounds like you're trying to get somewhere. It sounds like you're on a trip, you're on a bus, and the purpose of being on the bus...
I'm freaking out about the destination?
Well, yeah. But the whole purpose of being on the bus is to enjoy the bus.
The bus ride?
Matter. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter where you're supposed to go.
And I'm like, where's it heading? Where's it heading? Where's it heading? I'm like, freaking out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god, that's such a good analogy. That's how it feels. Okay. I'm glad you asked that question. Because when I talked to Dave, because me and Dave, that's something that's so
the name?
Nice.
Dave.
Their name's Day.
That's a pretty name.
It is so, it's DAE.
Oh. Okay, keep talking. I'm slightly adjusting things as we go. Sorry, Bubs. I'm gonna move this.
Are you just like seeing it? Oh, okay.
So that way I can fit more in this thing. There we go.
Oh, nice.
That's better.
Yeah, that's nice. But now I feel like I'm okay. I need to just Okay.
Okay.
So the nice thing about this relationship is we have pretty open communication. I feel like I still am hesitant to like fully express everything, just because of, I don't know, my experiences in relationships with having emotion that always hasn't really been like, I don't know, I've been gaslit about being crazy for having emotion,
okay.
like, forever. And so,
that's not good.
it's, like, hard for me to, like, confidently be my full spectrum of emotion with somebody in that setting, because I have this fear of, like, they're gonna think I'm crazy, or they're gonna think I'm annoying, like, all that chatter. And I'm sure a lot of people do that. But anyway, but we're really good about communicating this stuff, and I'd like to be a little bit better, but I still feel like I'm pretty good at talking about it with them. And so I'll talk about it with them, like my anxieties and my fears, and they will tell me every single time, they're like, there's no expectations here. They're like, I'm not asking your hand in marriage. Like, I'm not putting the prospect on this being a certain amount of time. That's not what's happening here. Like, I just enjoy you, and I like being with you, and you like being with me, and, like, it doesn't need to be that stressful.
Yeah.
I've heard that sentence many times in my life. It doesn't need to be that stressful. And so, but I think it's a fear that keeps coming back, and I think that it has to do with being raised LDS, because as a woman, you are literally raised with the mindset of, you are here to get married and have kids.
Yeah. That
is your role in this life, seriously. And even though I'm not LDS and I haven't been since I was 14, that was my core teachings growing up. And so I feel like even there's like a background program playing that's like still kind of thinks that. And so I think I get into a relationship and then I like feel anxious, like I'm gonna be stuck in it, or like that's the end all, you know what I mean? And I can't like see past that. And so then like with the bus, it's like, I don't plan on getting married, but it's like the same idea, like this is it for forever, like, you know what I mean? And that ruins the now. Like that makes me completely unable to just sit here and enjoy my time with them.
Yeah. Interesting. So Dave's pretty much like, this is just a nice car ride. Just enjoy the car ride.
Dave's like, dude, like, look at the scenery. Like, we're having a good time. There's good music playing. We brought snacks.
Yeah, bitch, where are you taking me? Where the fuck are we going?
But, like, I'm the one driving.
Yeah.
He's just there. Like, he's like, I'm just here. And he gets confused. And I feel, and then, because I've already kind of been so back and forth with him, right? Then I get anxious that I'm having these flashes of panic, because then I'm also scared to talk to them about it again, because I'm like, I don't want to keep messing with you and scaring you and making you like go back and forth still. So that's another thing that like makes me hesitate to open up about the things I'm feeling, but I just still do anyway, because I told him, I was like, I want you to know what's going on in my world on the inside. I don't want to just show you this like happy face if I'm like dissociating and having a panic attack for 3 days straight inside. Yeah. And that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah. I think it's hard. It's like, you want to let them know the real you. I view it like pouring water out of a cup. You don't want to do it all at once, but you don't want to stop doing it and pretend like you don't pour water, essentially. And so you're just still interesting.
Interesting indeed.
I'm like correlating it to my last relationship. It's pretty much the only relationship I've had, let's be honest. But I've told you a little bit about that, and for me it was kind of the same deal, where for me it was all about getting there, wherever there is, the same way. And so I got a girlfriend, and then we moved into an apartment, and we had, a dog, and it's like
the whole shebang.
Yeah, and then once it was over, and I was where I wanted to be in my head, the whole, like, everything just flipped from, I'm having a lot of fun, this is great, to when am I going to lose all of this shit? Because I have it, and I'm 18, and nobody figures out life at 18 years old.
So you're waiting for the impending doom to hit you.
Because it's like, I got to where I wanted. Now what? The only thing left is to fuck all of this up.
Lose it all. Yeah. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Like, me and Day have talked, like, a couple times in the past, today and yesterday, and those are the exact words that I, like, was using. I was like, or they actually said it. They're like, you seem, like, doomed. Like, you seem like you're just seeing doom. And I was like, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think about it in the sense of, like, am I just scared to lose it? Because, and I kind of think I am.
I think that's what it is.
Do you?
I think so. I think, like I was asking you, like, are you scared that things might go good, you know, with opportunities that you take?
And
it's
I'm like, yes.
Yeah. It's like things go good, and then once they go good, you're just like so anxious to, you're driving the bus and you're so anxious to just hit a tree just so that you can get it over with.
No, that is, no, like. Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is going to sound awful. I'm just, this is going to sound awful. When I get into these headspaces, it is all encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
It is not fun. Like, have you seen Soul?
Yes.
The movie Soul?
Yeah.
There's do you know the scene at the end where she's like in that tornado of voices and she's like in the fetal position and she just can't see anything. She's lost. And it's like, that's how it is. Like, that was the most beautiful scene when every time I see that, I bawl my eyes out because that is exactly how it feels. And I was in that headspace yesterday really bad. And I was like praying to God. I was like, I'm so funny when I pray to God. I just write it in my notes, but I'm like throwing it out to the universe.
Yeah.
I'm like, if it's not too much to ask, can they just break up with me? I'm like, can you please just help them to break up with me? But then that is like self-sabotage 101. Like, red flag right there.
You were worth it, man. I just want to tell you.
Fuck! That's what I was writing down in my paper. I was like, I don't feel worth it.
For whatever reason, your perception of your own value's fucked up, because I kind of view it the same way as the song. Like, and like I said, like, don't take it the wrong way, because the
oh, with the voice.
Yeah, it's like, that is more than enough. In fact, that is beautiful itself. It's better, yeah.
I'm waiting for him to walk across this bridge I made.
He's having fun.
He declined.
Oh, well.
The offer. Sorry, keep going.
Don't let him get in your head. You are worth it, okay? For real though, like, yeah, I don't know why, but I get the feeling that what you're putting on the table, you're like, nobody's gonna want this.
Yeah.
And so
I talked about that with my therapist.
And I feel like you're just misjudging the thing. It's like me listening to my music and going, this sounds like fucking garbage. I don't want to hear any of this. It's just, like, the person saying that is the me that wants to be a certain way, you know? The me that wants to sound and be perfect or whatever.
Trying to control the situation.
It's all in the eye. I told you about my last trip, and that's been the big thing helping me in my life. Like, I've been going to the gym a lot in the mornings, and I've been doing it. I don't like going to the gym in the morning, but I've been doing it just to, not to do it, but it's like an exercise in, I was thinking today while I was at the gym, it's kind of like charity. It's like, not charity, but service. When you go and you help somebody less fortunate than you for no reason. You know, it's like, it's not for you. You're not doing it so that you feel better about yourself, or that, you know, that you're like, see, I'm a good person or whatever. You're just doing it because you care about the person, or you care about that thing.
It's just about them.
Yeah. And that's what the gym has been for me, because
you're like, I'm doing this for my body. I'm doing this for Greg.
It's for my ship. It's for the meat sack that I'm in.
Makes so much sense. I get what you're saying.
And so it's hard, but for me, it's a great exercise, because when I'm at the gym and I go, fuck, I'm tired, like, I'll hit the bag for 15 minutes, and I've been trying to do it just straight, like, no stopping, no breaks, no, here's a combo, and then breathe for a second. It's just punch, 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 punch for 15 straight minutes. And
it's intense.
It's intense, but I'm constantly thinking to myself, like, I'm tired, or okay, I want to stop, or I want to breathe. And I just remind myself that this isn't for you. Like, the you that feels like you're doing all this for yourself or whatever, this has nothing to do with you. What I've been telling myself a lot is that I'm not hitting this bag for me. I'm hitting it for God. Like, I'm not And God in the sense of just life,
Existence.
being, existence. It's not for you. Like, everything I do is for you.
It's for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Being here.
But we're so used to doing shit for ourselves 24/7. Everything you do is for you, for your benefit, the you in your head, you know? And when I'm there, I just have to remind myself all the time that, like, none of this is about you. None of it, the pain you're feeling, the stuff you're going through, has nothing to do with you. You're so consumed in yourself that you're like, but how's this benefiting me? How's this making me feel?
How's this affecting me? It's
got nothing to do with you. And I kind of feel the same way listening to you talk. It's like the bus ride isn't for you, but you keep trying to fit yourself into it somehow and trying to go, okay, well, how do I navigate this? How do I drive this
I drive this bus?
Yeah, and it's like, you don't understand that none of this is about Emily. Absolutely. And it sounds contradictory because it has, you know, you're I don't want to say a cog in the system, but without Emily, the relationship doesn't work. And so, but at the same time, it's like, it has nothing to do with you. It has, I feel like, to do with your soul and your, hello, handsome, hi, Bubba, hello, I love you. You want to go with Emily?
Yeah, come with me. I'm jealous.
Go with Emily, Bubs.
He's like, no.
He's like, what the fuck?
So dessert, yeah.
There you go, buddy. Yeah, I've been, from my trip, I told you, and I love it. I think about it, like, that was easily the hardest trip that I have had, and it was my favorite, looking back on it, the more and more I look back. Because when I stared into the ceiling, and I saw nothing, and I kept trying to fit Greg into it and go like, yeah, but what can Greg take from this? Where does Greg
what
exist?
What is Greg
in all
learning?
Of this?
What is?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
I kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller and tinier as a person, and to the point where I just realized, like, damn, this has nothing to do with me. None of anything has anything to do with me. And so I've been very aware, very conscious of where it is that I think I fit into things, and then trying to take myself out of it, because again, it's like,
interesting.
None of this is about me. When I'm running on the treadmill, because I'll hit the bag, and normally I'm getting better at that, and so I just do without having to question anything. But then when you start running, I'll run a mile, and every time I'll get tired, and I can feel my body like tensing. It will, like, as you run more and more, the lactic acid and shit like that gets in your body, and you just start, you know, squeezing everything. And I have to tell myself, you're not your feelings. You're not your feelings. And it slowly just lets me let go of that. And every time I do that, it feels like I'm the me in my head that's like, but what about this? What about that? Always feels like shit's gonna stop somehow if he's not doing everything. But whenever I tell myself I'm not my feelings, or I tell myself that I'm not the tension in my body, and I just let go of the tension, I'm still running. Like, it's like showing him, like, see, you don't need to touch the wheel. The shit just does it by itself. Driving. Yeah, it just does it by itself. And you're so scared that shit's gonna crash or shit's gonna stop if you're not controlling it, if you're not driving the thing. And the truth is that the one that's, I feel like you should listen to the last podcast that I had, because it was perfect.
The one you sent me?
Yeah.
I should. I haven't listened to it yet.
You should listen to that one. Because I got high again for the first time in however many months. And I just realized, I had a whole conversation with myself, because I realized, like, damn, this is you trying to control. You get high because you want to feel away. Yep. You want to make yourself... It's not even feel good. Yeah, exactly. It's not even feel good. It's like, if I want to be the one that makes me feel bad. I want to, you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I really do.
So,
especially with weed. Like,
yeah.
That's why I just don't anymore.
I just realized, like, every time I do it, I don't trust life. Every time I smoke or I'll drink, and I've been drinking more now that I don't have weed to smoke. Yeah. So I've just been drinking because I'll get bored. Like, I'll be like, oh, you know what would be fun right now is if I felt a different way than how I'm feeling. And so I'll drink, but I notice it's like, this is your feeble, puny, human attempt to try to matter, to try to control the experience. And every time that I do it, it has limits on it every single time, because Greg only knows what Greg knows. And there's so much beyond me that I can experience that I have no clue is out there. And unless I trust that stuff, it's never going to happen. I'm always just going to keep myself in the same cycle of the same shit that I'm constantly doing. And so the same shit with the relationship is like, Emily feels like if she's not driving, shit's going to crash and burn. And what does Emily know how to do? Crash and burn. That's like your expertise is just crashing shit. What you don't know how to do is be calm and okay in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And so
I have a question for you then. Is it to be that I calmly drive the bus, or is it to be that I let go of the wheel?
Trust it. It is trusting that the bus not only will drive itself, but it will drive it a million times better than you could ever possibly do it.
That just made me so happy inside. Like, to even imagine that would be a possibility.
Because it's not even something you consider. You're like, but if I'm
not
touching it,
a little bit.
Yeah,
no, literally not even a little bit.
If I'm not touching it, then who's touching it?
Yeah.
And it's like, what if you don't know how to drive? Like, fucking literally.
And I don't.
Yeah.
When it comes to relationships,
that's what brings all the anxiety, because you're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Oh my god.
I don't know what the
Why
fuck I'm doing.
Why are you explaining this so well?
So I'm going through it too.
Oh my god. I'm glad we're recording this. I'm like, I need to write all this down for later. For my therapy session tomorrow morning.
It's what I saw in the ceiling. I saw that I don't matter, that I don't know. It's all about Greg.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and I do get what you're saying. Like, I'm gonna give you a weird visual here. Like, you're saying that, and it's hitting me, and at different times of you saying it, a little bit more or less seeps in, and, like, understands it deeper than hearing it.
My chaos.
But but I do get what you're saying, but sometimes I understand it more than other times.
Yeah.
And
you feel it.
Yeah, and ever since we've talked about it, I've actually been trying to practice. I mean, it's actually similar to what you said, but in my moments of anxiety, I will just sit there and kind of, like, try to, like, let go all the tension in my body and just tell myself in my head, like, become nothing. Like, I am nothing. I do not matter. And not in a bad way, but I imagine myself, like, seeping and melting into the rest of existence and, like, becoming nothing, essentially. Like how an ice cube melts in the sun. And that is helpful when I try to do that. But it's not, I don't always do it successfully, because it's kind of hard. It's
hard because there's a you trying to do it.
Exactly. Like, me telling myself I'm nothing is still a me talking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's hard to find that balance of, like, pure surrender.
Yeah. I get it, because when I'm running on the treadmill, sometimes it'll get to the point where I can tell that I'm trying to make myself feel nothing. I'll tell myself I'm not my feelings, and that is Greg trying to go, feel the right thing, you know what I'm saying? Feel one with everything, but that's me trying to control it, and it's like, it's really hard, but just let it be. When you let it be is when you are happening. You're trying to become the happening that is going on around you. And when you're telling yourself, happen, it doesn't work that way.
You're missing out on the fact that it's happening.
You're exactly.
Hijacking it. Wait, but going back really quick, I kind of got lost. You were saying, feel the right thing. Is that you saying, like, you shouldn't be feeling this way, you should be feeling this way, try to feel this way?
That's me going, don't feel anything.
Oh, like when you're trying to meditate and you're trying to have, like, a clear, and you're like, don't think about that, think about that, but it's like...
You're like it's like the little old me that doesn't matter is trying to, again, steer things back. It's like the train starts going this way or the car starts going this way, and I go, just a little that way and we'll be okay. It's like, no, bro, if it's gonna go that way, it's supposed to go that way. Go that way. That's exactly where you're supposed to go. The thing is driving itself, and when you're like,
Another question then.
Yeah.
So, Alan Watts talks about how if you, like, no amount of worrying is going to change the outcome. So do you think that no matter what I think, like, if I'm trying to drive this bus and I'm freaking the fuck out, because I'm like, I don't know how to drive, do you think that me doing that is going to hijack the bus? Or do you think that the bus is still just going to fucking drive and I'm in an illusion? I'm the only one that thinks that that I'm, like, going to crash the bus.
You are the illusion. That's
what you're trying to say?
That's
like
what it is.
I is
like,
the illusion?
That's the fucked up part, is that everything that we're doing, even right now, how we're trying to figure things out, the little Emily and the little Greg that think that they matter, they're trying to figure shit out.
We're trying to drive the bus?
It's a part of the experience. Us trying to drive the bus is the bus driving itself.
Wait, pause. I need a second after that. Hold on. Jesus Christ.
What I'm saying is that it's all destined. It's all supposed to happen.
Us trying to drive the bus is part of the bus driving itself.
Yeah.
That is blowing my mind right now, Greg.
It comes back to, there's no way to fuck this up. There's no way to destroy anything. The universe will be okay infinitely forever, and there's nothing that we could possibly do to fuck it up. So it's like, it's a part of the game. Remember how we were talking about the universe playing hide and go seek with itself?
Yeah.
It's exactly what's happening. And so the universe goes, wouldn't it be fun to pretend to try to drive the bus? And then that's what we do. And then we get in our own head about it and we go, no, it's not supposed to be that way. But the whole time we're still playing. We're still in a play.
We forgot.
And we're supposed to forget. You're never supposed to just know. Nobody walks around just woke. Okay, unless Jesus was a real person that was just 24/7, nobody is forever awake. People lose it and they come back to it, and that is like the fun of the entire experience. It's the experience itself. So it's like, we think that, if we could just go throughout life without our egos, which is the part of us that's... Then everything would be just perfect. Everything would be just right. And
everybody talks about, like, getting rid of your ego. Like, that's not...
I hate hearing that shit. It's because it's fucking...
I'm just trying to be friends with my ego.
Yeah,
let's just be friends.
It's impossible.
That's good for me.
It's impossible. It's like, people are all like, yeah, but just... It's the same way that... And this is... I've been talking to Sean about this because, for me, I really don't think that evil exists. I don't think the devil exists. I have yet to encounter it.
I'm trying to get comfortable in this small chair. No, this is great, actually. Okay. I found comfort.
Okay. And Sean's telling me that I just haven't encountered it yet. And I trust what Sean says. So that's me going, okay, maybe I don't know everything. Maybe soon enough I will run into that. But I really think that evil and terrible things are all a part of... It's like... I don't think Satan is a thing. I think everything terrible that happens is God. And I think everything great that happens is God. It's all the same.
Well, I do get... Sorry to interrupt you, but I know what you're saying. I think that our ideas in general, our understanding of life in general is very harshly based on our language. And our context of the word God is juxtapositioned to the word devil or Satan. And if that didn't exist, if the devil or Satan didn't exist, those words, and we were to understand God, actually the true actual meaning of the word God is not how we understand it. It is basically just pure existence.
Yeah.
But because we have been raised with the context of God versus devil, we see God as the good guy and the devil as the bad guy. And so that's why we have this confusion of, like, evil and good. But, like, if we didn't have that binary way of thinking, everything would just be.
And based off that, the ego that we are trying to control, which is trying to control itself, is the happening that is happening. It is the bus driving itself.
Hold on, I need you to my brain's trying to...
I know.
Like,
this is how I am when I talk to Sean. Sean says shit and I'm like, okay. I think I understand what this... I, like, know there's value there, but it's just so far...
It's not...
Yeah.
It's like a fire hose, but I'm like a spout. Like, I'm like, slower, please.
Interesting. That's like, maybe there's some chaos that doesn't affect us just because of the fact that we can't comprehend it.
No, that's what I was trying to tell you. Like, it's hitting, but it's not seeping in. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I feel like it only seeps in where we have understandings.
Where you're capable of comprehending.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. That maybe it's good for us that we don't know everything.
Oh, 100% it's good.
Like, it's like literally when you take LSD, I feel like what it does is it dissolves your barriers. All the you that you have ever created, and I view it as like if somebody were to raise a labyrinth from the ground and make it tall and tall and tall, those are all the walls and definitions, words that we've come to understand and stuff, and you take LSD and it drops all the walls.
It's your brain wrinkles.
Yeah. And so I have smooth brain thoughts.
LSD just irons your brain out for a few hours.
But then you can see everything on the landscape, and everything becomes valuable because it's literally that right there, to where it's just an explosion of fucking understanding because there is depth in everything. Everything is absolutely deep, and so
infinitely deep.
Yeah, those lines are really valuable because they help keep us from fucking drowning in a sea of information and chaos and understanding. You can die from understanding.
No, I was just gonna say, have you seen that one Indiana Jones movie?
No.
Where, I don't know which one I saw it so long ago, but it's the woman that she's trying to, like, there's alien looking guys, and she's trying to find this weird little brain that has all of the knowledge in the universe, and she's just seeking all this knowledge, and then finally she gets it, and it downloads all of the infinite knowledge in the whole entire universe, and her brain explodes.
And I was gonna say, her shit must fucking...
She screams, and she is tortured, and then she explodes, like...
That makes sense. She's limited by who she is.
I don't know why. I saw that probably when I was like 10, and that has never left my mind, ever, dude. I've brought it up to so many people, like, it's like a core memory.
That's funny. No, yeah, literally. And I think that only, like, the thing that would allow you to be all that is God, because God doesn't have all those. I feel the God that we see that just is, you know, that is life, wouldn't have
the unlimited God,
infinite. And us being who we are have so many lines and so many walls and so many definitions to things that there's like so much information that could seep through it and absolutely just fucking...
Well, that's literally our bodies.
Yeah.
Like, this is the container of God. This is the limited God.
That's true.
This is... You're gonna say...
Yeah, I say we're limited by the human perspective, because it's like, there's so many more senses besides the ears and, you know, the taste.
But that's the thing, is like, this is kind of my understanding of life and of God, is right now I am aware of this perspective, but like Ollie's a different cat, I'm sorry. Akuma has his perspective, but at the same time Akuma is another container for God, and God, like, we're experiencing life through Akuma.
I do that all the time.
And we're experiencing life through the seaweed at the bottom of the ocean. Like, that is all of us.
Yeah.
That is all of us.
I like that.
We're just only aware of one thing at a time, one ego at a time.
Because that's all the consciousness that fits into that tiny little thing.
Into whatever biological structure one thing has, it has the capacity to hold.
It's limited by that.
Yes. I don't know.
Yeah.
A certain amount of something. Je ne sais quoi, like, I don't know.
I view this magic.
I don't want to say a limited amount of God, because the seaweed is God. Like, even the biological structure itself is God.
Yeah.
But it's like the consciousness of God. But at the same time, we have no idea if the seaweed... I think plants are conscious. I think they have awareness.
I think everything that's alive
has an awareness.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think that well, actually, I don't know, because with our bodies, right? Our bodies are not alive. Our bodies are just bodies. as soon as we're not alive, they're not.
Facts.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think there's plenty of things that are alive that we don't really see. Like, when I did shrooms one time by myself, it was my first time doing it by myself, and I went downstairs to, like, the kitchen family room area, and the lights were off, it was nighttime, and I went down there, and I just sat at the top of the stairs because I looked down and I could see how alive it was down there. I could see how alive everything was down there. And I almost, like, felt like I needed to, like, announce my coming, like, hey, I'm coming in, like, I'm coming downstairs, because it was a whole thing, like, there was so much happening down there, and I had these thoughts of, like, you guys are doing this every night, and I'm just up in my room, like, there's so much happening down here, and, like, I literally think I was, like, asked permission to, like, go down into my kitchen. I'm like, can I come down here? Yeah, literally, like, and so, I think, yes, live things are conscious, but I think that there's consciousness in things that we do not see as alive.
True. Maybe we just don't perceive those things as alive because of our perspective.
Yes. Like, have you seen heard the question, if you have a ship and you replace every single board in the ship over the span of, like, 5 years, is it still the same ship?
Yeah.
Once, and the answer is debated all the time, but, like, your ship is gaining experiences and energy. You know how when you walk into a building, you can feel, like, say it's a building that's not used anymore, you can feel that building, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And often people think of that as, like, abandoned buildings that are, like, haunted and scary. That's not necessarily the case. That is an example.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you can feel the energy of a building when you walk in, whether there's people in it or not. Like, the ship has its own experiences. The ship saw things. The ship had its own crews. Yeah. And, like, as you replace them, the pieces are still accruing that experience. So it's just this ongoing, infinite ship. It's not, there's no start and end.
Yeah, it's beginning or end to it.
Yeah.
I agree. I was thinking the whole time while you're saying that.
Sorry, that was a really long...
No. I'm following you. Yeah, I was thinking energy is like, okay, things might not have consciousness, but they have their own energy. Like when you said your living room felt like it was, you know, alive in its own sense. It's like the couch is couching and the pictures are picturing and everything is doing its own thing. The
blinds were blinding. Yeah. But they were doing it all together.
Yeah, and making like a perfect harmony of...
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. I was going to say, it reminds me a lot of... I told you about my DVDs that my parents gave away. This is something I don't tell people because I personify things a lot. And so I will talk to inanimate objects all of the time because I feel like they got energy to them.
I talked to my house.
That's what's up.
I told you, I talked to my kitchen. I was like, it's okay if I come in here? Like, no, like, I do that too.
And then the kitchened and you were like, good.
No, really?
You came in. Yeah, I would talk to my DVDs all the time just because I felt like they literally got me. They are an accumulation of all the things that I like.
It's a reflection of you.
Exactly. It's like looking in a mirror. Yeah, exactly. And so I get that. It's like things have their own energy. I feel like shit is giving off its own chaos. It's just radiating by itself. But, you know, I guess some things are stronger than others. Like, do you think that... Well, yeah. Because the ship has gone through experiences, so... The ship, do you feel like has different... Yeah, it has to, right? The energy can change. It's not like it's a stagnant...
It totally changes. Like, some energy is going to leave.
Yeah.
And new energy is going to be introduced. It's just like us. Our cells regenerate. Like,
yeah.
We do not have a single cell in our bodies that is the same when we die. Unless, you know, if you live a full life. But,
yeah. No, I've heard that when you're saying the ship, that, like, our bodies do the same shit and everything
I don't know how 1,000% true that is, though, because I know, like, our skin suit does fully, like, shed and regenerate every so often, but I'm very curious about, like, if that includes every single cell, like, on the inside and in our bone marrow. Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like bones are pretty... I don't know. I see bones as pretty sacred. Yeah, they carry such deep information.
Interesting.
So I don't know how true that is entirely, but Our skin does.
Do you think our consciousness does that too? Whatever our consciousness is, do you think that it's slowly... I get that it can refine itself constantly, like we're doing that now. But do you think that in the same way that pieces of a ship get regenerated, or your skin gets regenerated, that your consciousness does the same thing? Like, do you think your consciousness is the same one that you had when you were a child?
I do, but I do think that... Hold on, let me think about that.
Because we can't see it or know what it is entirely, you know.
I do think that it changes, but I don't think it changes exactly the way that we think it does. Kind of like how we're talking about the bus.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the consciousness is changing and running its course, and our brains are thinking, like, because we grow intellectually mature and emotionally mature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we kind of use that as like a scale of how much our consciousness has changed. But I think that those are all just actually byproducts of our consciousness changing. Like how the bus is just driving. And I think I'm driving it. I think that's what our consciousness is doing.
You saying that makes me think, remember how I told you that I feel like we're just watching the movie of our lives and we've already done it and we're just scrubbing through it? What if our consciousness is literally the film that is fucking... Like, you know how, like, old school movies have
like, you
tape?
just, like, stretch it out, and then you're, like, watching every slice of DNA.
Yeah, literally. Damn.
This is... At one point, I really thought about going to school for animation.
Uh-huh.
Because these are the kind of concepts that I wanted to animate. Like, us just talking about that would be such a cute little clip.
Yeah.
Of, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I was like, school.
Yeah, I feel you.
But I still like to make those little... Like I showed you what I made for the song.
Yeah.
I still like to do those little things.
Fucking primo.
So I still could. Like, I could probably figure it out. That would be really cool.
I think it'd be cool. I feel like it'd be worth it. There'd be substance in that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, just to have something that has some sort of meaning in it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Even if it doesn't have any specific meaning, it expands the idea of life. Because I don't think we'll ever figure out what life is. Life is life, you know, and
Life is.
Yeah. And we try to figure out what it is and what meaning it is.
Yeah.
I don't think the point is to figure out the meaning, but I think the sheer fact of seeing a million possibilities of any kind of meaning is better than
finding an answer.
Like one. Yeah. Single. Or feeling like there is none. But not like, because feeling like there is none is also very, like, releasing. Like, it helps you realize that there is none. But you know what I mean.
It's pretty meaningful.
But instead of, like, hopelessly, like, you know. So, because seeing another option just opens up your mind. Always.
Yeah.
Just seeing a new perspective.
I think it's kind of interesting that it's like the nothingness is kind of what you are trying to achieve. That sense of hopelessness and letting go is kind of the peace that we're looking for. Not peace as in P-E-I-C-E, but peace as in like
peaceful.
Yeah. But that's also the same. It's like, again, two sides of the same coin, where
I know what you're saying.
It's like that is the depression, you know what I'm saying, that makes you feel lost and hopeless, but at the same time, through a different perspective, that is the same exact thing that you are eventually, like, that you're looking for, that you're trying to find, that you're trying to come to accept, I guess. Because it's like, it's, again, I was saying about God and Satan, I feel like they're two sides of the same thing. The ego and the soul it's the same shit. It's like we're both one thing. We're both the same, two sides of the same coin. And people go, well, don't. I'm thinking about a quote I just put up on my Instagram that said, "Feed the soul, starve the ego." But it's like, it's not about starving the ego. It's not about neglecting one over the other. It's about finding a balance between the two of them, because they both have their hand on the wheel,
teaching
essentially.
them to love each other.
Exactly. To coexist. And so I kind of view the same thing as, you know, people get depressed because nothing matters, but at the same time, having nothing matter is the thing that frees you and makes you feel like, you know, there is purpose to life and that there is happiness and that you can actually find something. It's all the same shit. It's all the same shit, but it's two sides of you looking at the same thing in different perspectives.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. In one of my songs, the lyric is, maybe the counterpart of feeling lost is being free. That's literally exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's a good verse.
You made me think of something while you were talking. And I was like, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I wanted to keep listening, but then I forgot it. But it's fine, it's not a big deal. It'll come back if it matters.
Yes, I was just going to tell you that.
If it matters, it'll come back.
If it matters, it will come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
How do you feel?
Winded.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. I feel so much more at peace though. Every time we talk, I feel so much better after.
Because I see you, and I feel the same way about you because I feel like you see me.
Yeah, we do just kind of get each other.
Yeah. I feel like it's also helpful that we, you know, I really value the relationships I have with people around me that like to grow. I say the same names all the time. It's you, Donovan, Sean, Jordy, like all the people in my life that we like to talk about life and we like to talk about progressing and things that are difficult and, you know, things that help us and whatever. Because I feel like you guys are playing the same game but in your flavor. And, you know, you guys are going through the same thing. And so I can always use you guys to reflect and be able to, what was it that I used to say? It's like refine my consciousness through you. It's like I put in my knowledge into the strainer of your head, and then you strain my information and
regurgitate something back.
Exactly. And then I'm like, see, that helps me, and then vice versa, where I do the same thing for you, and we're just constantly refining one another in the way that we think and our perspectives for things. And not everybody does that, which I think is kind of a shame. Like, I get it. It's not easy to grow. Sometimes I wouldn't say it's a lot easier, but sometimes people feel like it's a lot easier for them to just ignore things. It's like your room gets really, really messy, and for some people it just becomes too overwhelming, and you would just rather pretend that there's no room at all. Yeah. And so you just go about life with a disaster in your house, and you just deal with that as opposed to dealing with the pain of having to clean it up. Either way, it's gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what you do, it's going to be painful. So it reminds me of a post that I saw my friend Donovan post, that it's like two stick figures, and there's a cliff, and one of them is walking up the side of the cliff, and it said something like doing the hard thing, and the top of the cliff is where you want to get to, and then the one stick figure is walking up that mountain, and then another stick figure, his caption said, doing the easy thing, and it's like, it goes down, and it's a chasm, and he falls into it, but then now you have to climb up the hill at like an inverted angle as opposed to just using the steps. It's like, either way, you're gonna have to get up there, so how do you want to do it? Because it's gonna fucking suck regardless. And so
it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard either way. It just matters how you approach it, I guess. And there's not a lot of people that are just especially open enough to do this and talk to somebody else about their issues and be like, I'm having problems here, you know what I'm saying?
Well, because you have to be open with yourself to be able to be open with somebody else, and that's the hardest part.
Go M. Facts. That's true.
Do you want to take it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
I should have brushed him before. Every time he goes outside, he'll come back in and then I'll have to brush him. And every time I brush him, I feel like I get all the hair out, and then I'll take all the hair out and I'll brush him again, and there's twice as much hair on it. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
That's just how cats are. Always. We'll never get to the end of it. Really.
Get a Sphinx cat. Just kidding. I'm not a big fan of Sphinx cats. I look at him, I just see a little lion. Isn't that right, Bobo? I also think it's interesting how they kind of act like it. Like in their head, they are a lion. And so I'll like give him a piece of meat or something, and then he'll like bite it and he'll waddle away into some corner. He'll take it out of his bowl and then he'll go to a corner and then he'll like lay it on the ground and then he'll like pretend like he's hunting it or something like that. He'll go jump behind a wall and then be like, aha!
That's so cute.
Yeah. So I think it's his birthday. I don't know if it's today. I don't know his actual birthday, but I got him May 6th. 4 years ago in 2019. And I remember I got him like a few weeks after he was born. So I had his birthday written down, or I asked them in a text, and I unfortunately took that phone and I smashed it to pieces. So I don't have that information anymore.
That checks out.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I think it's your birthday, Baba. He's 4, which means that he's 32 in grown-up years. So he's older than we are. Ain't that right, Bobs?
I love his purr.
He's loud. I noticed he started doing it. I kick him out of my room now because, well, not in the mornings, because he'll wake up and then he'll want me to get up too because he's so used to getting up at 6 a.m. when I go to work. And so on the weekends, he'll get up at like 6 and then he'll jump on the bed and start purring loud as fuck next to my head so that I wake up and that he opens the door. And I'm like, bro, you need to stop.
He loves you so much.
Do you love me, Bobs?
Rubbing all up on you.
I love you, handsome. I'm really hoping that when I go to South Carolina, I'll be able to let him outside because I don't want to make him stay inside the apartment for 3 straight months. Now that he's, you know, an outdoor cat too. But I don't know if they got animals or whatever, coyotes or whatever the fuck that's going to eat him up. That's what I don't want. Or if somebody sees him and they're like, look at that cute son of a bitch, you're coming with me.
Wait, where are you going?
South Carolina.
I thought you were going to California.
I wish. That'd be fun.
You never were?
No. South Carolina.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know why.
California.
I
Carolina.
love that.
Yeah, it's going to be a far fucking trip. It's like 30-hour drive to get out there.
You're driving. Do you know? Well, I know you know Donovan and what's his name? Jake.
Yeah.
Are you driving with them or are you driving by yourself?
No, I'm driving by myself.
Ooh.
Yeah, everybody else is going to fly. I'm driving because of this little turd. I have to, you know, he's got to come with me. So I'm damned for a 30-hour car ride of consistent meowing that will not stop. When he gets in the car, it's like every 2 seconds. And that's not a joke. It's
For
not.
30 hours?
For 30 hours. I just put on my headphones and it does a good job of blocking him out, but that means I have to have headphones on for 30 hours and I don't have any. Don't bite me. I don't have any headphones that will last 30 hours. So I'm fucked. I don't know what to do. I think I'm just going to give him a shit ton of catnip, like a stupid amount.
I was
And
gonna say,
hopefully he just passes the fuck out.
you could get like cat melatonin.
That's a thing?
Probably.
You going to sleep, Baba?
Probably, I think.
So I just can't. And I'd leave him out. I would like, you know, open up his cage and let him walk out. But anytime I do that, it's like he tries to crash the fucking car every time. He'll hop in my. He'll hop into my lap, and then he'll just sit there meowing in my face. Like he'll get up on top of me and he'll be like meow, 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 and then he'll touch the wheel. Isn't that right, Bubs? What, Emily? done a good amount of talking.
I did too. I feel like empty.
Yeah,
like
you got it out. Yeah, you got it out. That's why I like doing this shit. Oh, look, Mom's calling me. That's why I like.
Great timing.
Yeah, great timing. That's why I like doing this shit because it's like verbal puking.
Vomit.
Yeah, exactly.
I can go take a nap now.
Yeah, exactly.
I have nothing left to say.
Exactly. Yeah. So, without further ado, bitches, I love you. Tell the camera you love them. This is for you. Tell yourself you love yourself.
I love you.
I love you. I do love you. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye, bitches.